You're already out.
Okay, everybody say.
Yeah.
We're good. We are good.
No, let's not start yet.
We're holding, look at the Yeshiva daf. We're holding in Zevachim daf, on Gimel. We're starting the Mishnah daf from base and we base. Zok the Mishnah. Chatos atzibur. We're continuing now with the limud. This is the Mishnah that we all know because we all say it every morning. And immediately this Mishnah we know by heart. But we're going to come and explain the Mishnah. Look at the Mishnah. Chatos atzibur v'ayachid. Talk about chatos and atzibur and the yachid, where they're going to be done. Mishnah, this parak is talk about where every korban is done. Elu chatos atzibur. What is chatos atzibur? It's Hirei Rosh Chodesh in the seer in the common Rosh Chodesh. Fel Shemui Ada is the common the Moed. Shchitasom Batzofen. You do it in the north. Kibul Dom Klishar at Tzafon. To receive the blood in the north. Very similar to what we said in the first Mishnah. The Domon Ton Arba Matonos al Arba Karners. You have to put the Matonos on the four corners of the Mizbeach on top. Which is Beach? Mizbeach Achitzon. The outside Mizbeach. Keitzad, the Mishnah explains, that from Gimel Mudav on top, Olo Bakevish, it goes up the ramp, Upano La Soiviv, and it goes to the Soiviv, which is the ledge around the Mizbeach, Ubal Lakayan Droim Mis Mizrachis. And the first one he hits is southeast. Why is that so? So very simple, just to, if you have the Mizbeach, this is the Mizbeach, and I'm looking at the Mizbeach, I'm looking at the ramp going into the Mizbeach. To my right is the east, and to my left is the west, and to my left I have Kodesh Kodashim. When I go up, we have a rule. The rule is called Pniya Shatapoini Lo Yuela. You always have to go to the right. So he goes up the ramp, and he goes to the right. Which corner will he see first? Southeast. Southeast, that's what Mishnah says.
But there's no...
What does he get to? Southeast. Then he continues to circle the Soviet, to circle the Mizbeach. The next corner he gets to is Mizrachis Tzvainis, northeast. Then he continues to the next corner. Again, this is the Mizbeach. He started over here, goes over here. Now what's the next one? Northwest.
So
Tzvainis Maravis.
he's going counterclockwise.
He's going counterclockwise. Exactly. If you look at it from this side. Ma'arav is joimis, then he gets to the southwest. Shiyari Adam, the leftover blood, the Shiraim. Hayashoyvech Hayasoid joimis. Once he goes down the ramp, he puts it on the Yasoid, which is facing the south. We'll see in the Gemara, the closest you have to the ramp, which is the south. Because he's coming from the south. It's going down the south. So he goes down and puts it over there. You eat it inside the walls of the Mikdash, which means in the Heichol, Lezichri Kehuna, for the male Koyani, meaning male, not female. Bechol Machol, you can eat any way you want. Because we'll see in the end of the parak that Pesach can be Nechal only sli, only roasted. Here you can eat any way you want. It's roasted, you can eat cooked, you can eat any way you want. Le'yoyim v'layla, for a day and a night, ad Chatzois, until Chatzois of the night. Is the Rishayim is Chatzois me'akev, or it's only the Chetchila. That's a discussion on its own. Now,
Shari Adam, it's on the south, going down the Kevish, right? Kevish in the middle of the Mizbeach?
Yeah.
So which side of the south?
Oh, so Shaila is, where do you have the Yisoid? That we'll see more next tomorrow's daf. We showed a little bit of yesterday's daf. The Yisoid, according to the sheet of Rashi, we'll see actually in the end of our daf. The Yisoid did not go all around the Mizbeach. The Yisoid went on this side, which means the west side, and went on top, which is the north. According to Rashi, it was a little bit inside the east and a little bit inside the west. So the only Yisoid they had in the west and the south is over here. I mean southwest. Southeast did not have a Yisoid.
So you had to walk all the way over there?
Yeah, I mean, he went down the ramp, makes a right, and goes down to the Yisoid on the right. We'll see. That's the end of today's daf. Says the Gemara, one thing just to mention. Listen to this Lashon. We mentioned it on Shabbos. The Lashon is, V'necho lifnim min hakloim. Kurtitz, that belongs to the Mishkan. Why are we using Loshem Min HaKloim? Should be Lechol Nifni Min HaChayma. That should be. So the Tiferes Yisrael and Mishnayos learns from here that this perek was written in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why you're using the Loshem of the Mishkan. Because it's coming from the Midbar, it's the Torah of Moshe, so it's coming from there. That's there's no machlekes in this perek, that's what we spoke about on Shabbos. But that's why it says, here's the place where he says it, because it says Nifni Min HaKloim. How exactly do you do a zriko for the chatois on the corners? You do it on the corner, but how exactly do you do it? Says the Gemara, one Rabbi says you put an amo on every corner, meaning you have a corner over here. Let's assume this is the Mizbeach. You have a corner, 4 corners. You go and you spread it on the wall, which is on that side of the Mizbeach. You go.
Corners too.
Oh, we're talking about chatos, not oila. So you're not doing it on the corner. You're doing it on the edge of the wall. Look at Rashi. Rashi says, he's standing in the corner. Any side he wants. Or the dorm, or the mizrach. The kerem mizrach is dorm. He's standing in the corner. You could do it to this side or to this side. Oilo, you have to do one which spreads to 2. So we'll see later. But Kamatzlif?
No, like a whip.
Kamatzlif. That's something else. We'll get right now.
That's 2, that becomes 4.
Yeah, you throw it, 2 becomes 4. Matzlif refers to the Azos. How do you about that? It's Riko. We'll divide it into 2. That's by oil. By chatos,
it's not so specific. You could take which corner.
Exactly. By chatos, you have to do all 4 corners. Every corner, you have 2 options. You can choose which one you want.
But you have to end up doing all 4 corners.
Yes. And all 4 walls.
4 walls.
So he says, the other one that says, he needs to take his finger and put it down on the corner mamish, on the actual angle, on the edge. It's not the 2 sides. It doesn't go in there. It's his finger.
But there's the horn. The current is sticking up.
Yeah.
So what is he doesn't put it on top of the current?
Down on top. It's on the wall, on the corner. We'll see in a moment. Is it the horn itself or even below the horn? But he's not putting it on top of the horn. He's putting it on the edge of the horn, on the wall. If this is Mizbeach and you have a horn, let's assume this is the horn. You're doing it over here, on the corner. Let's see, the Gemara is going to address it. Alibu de Ablozo Bab Shimon de Omar, he atzvain and says Gufa Shakaren. That's what you just mentioned. According to Ablozo Bab Shimon, it says it's done on the Karen itself. Everybody agrees that you don't need to do it in the corner, right? Because you could do it any place on the Karen. So I put it on the 4 horns, wherever you want on the horn, not on top, but you can put it on any side of the horn wherever you want. But according to Rebbe, it says it doesn't have to be in the horn, but it's below the horn. Below the horn you do it, just right next to the horn, or below the horn. I do an amo, which is below the karen. So if this is mizbech, you have a horn on top. I do the blood right below the horn on the wall. It has to be on the actual edge to show that you belong to the horn. So it means it goes to the kindness around it. Al B'Samach. Many times in culture we say Al B'Samach. Says the woman, how do you do the our sugya? Chatos Sibu Yochid, how do you do Matan Dam? She goes up the ramp. He goes onto the ledge. It goes to the southeast. He puts his finger on the right. The miyumenes means the main finger, which is the etzba. Minadav shel hamazrik. Vechoymer begudolo milamalo ubeetzba ktano milamato. And then he adds to it his his long finger and the small finger to add together. Oh, so what is choymer mean? This is a little hard. I didn't get a clear. Rashi says choymer kloimai nichmeru b'nei me'eyo. Nichmeru, lashon like heat. Nichmeru is lashon heat. So trying to see the Lazi Rashi helps us over here. He says over here, lashon echsher, parish muchsha. Where is it? Rashi is the new rear sauce. So somehow you help the finger with the other two fingers. You help it out.
To concentrate the blood, to move the blood up to the beginning, to the top of it.
Maybe. You push it off. That's what I mean. Oh, you push it off. So nichmer was like you push it down.
Yeah.
So I mean you push the blood to the top of the finger. And then you put the blood on the corner. Until the blood is finished on the finger. That's what you do in every horn. So you see clearly he puts it on the chudash keren on the corner. Says the Gemara, of course, the chatchila you should do on the corner. But the question is it okay with the evet? That's the machlokes. But everybody agrees, try to do it on the corner. Says the Gemara, my Rebbe and my Rabbi Shimon. Where's the Rebbe and Rabbi Shimon argue? Do you put it on the horn or below the horn? Says the Gemara, the top bloods, which are mainly chatos, nistani michuta sikro v'lamala. Chuta sikro is a border which Rashi explains that there's some kind of a design in the mizbeach. It reaches the half of the mizbeach. It's question if that design is below the half or above the half. Rashi is below the half, and there it's right in the middle of the mizbeach. Right in the middle of the mizbeach, you have this called chut hasikro, the line of sikro, divides the top and the bottom. Another very interesting discussion, this that comes up from the Rishonim, is the chut hasikro make it top? Does the chut hasikro, that's the dividing part, and if I don't have a chut sikro, I don't have top and bottom, or it's only a sign down. This is me'akev b'di'evet. Okay. Where you put the dam tachtonim? Below the string. Sorry, I skipped. The time yoinim is above the line. So according to Rabbi, as long as I put it above the line, I don't care where you put it above the line. It doesn't have to be on the horn. Any place above the line is good. That's the top. That's only boil soif, which has to be in the top as well. Chatas needs to be done on the horn. That's a machlokes. Does the chatas have to be done on the horn, or it can be done below the horn?
Didn't we know about the sikra itself?
What?
Whatever the blood on the sikra itself with the sikra. It's on the top or it's on the bottom?
Yeah, that has to do with that Zevachim. We spoke about someone who does the sprinkling, and you have you're not sure if it's the top or bottom, and you're not able to mishayir. What is taharish mizbeach? It was the sug of taharish mizbeach. Chadas goes up, chadas oif goes down. Everything goes down except chatas and oil oif. My time of the rain. What's the reason Rebbe you could do it any place in his back? The hell is the mizbeach. It's 4 amos. So the arba amos, the avos arba 4 amos is much more than 4 amos. The place of the horns is 4. So makom karnus arba havil. It's not 4. Meaning it's each karen takes 1 amo in length. 1 amo on this side, 1 on this side, not 4. Below the horns, I have 4 amo to throw the blood. Why? Because how tall is the mizbeach? 10 amo. Chut hasikra stops in the middle. So how many amos do I have above chut hasikra? 4 amos in the horn. So below the horn, I have 4 amos to do it. I have the whole space to do it over there. So about that, also we learn over there chut hasikra choikroi be'enside stops in the middle. Lavdil bin Domri al Yorin Dot Tachtonim separates the top and the bottom of the Mizbeach. Chaygur is like a belt. Chaygur belts it, be'emtza, in the middle of the height. That's the design. Which is the half. The term made the mechitza to say this is the top, this is the bottom. Shiori Adam, the leftover blood, you take out where you put it. We say you put it on the south after when you go down the ramp. That's the south. Maybe it means the west. You learn from what we learned before regarding Chatois Primers, the ones that are inside the Heichel. What do we say over there? You learn from the going down the ramp, going out of the Heichel. When you go leave the Heichel, you reach the first Yesod that you reach. When you go down from the ramp, the closest one to it, which is the south, because the ramp is on the south. You go to the closest one. He comes to argue. He says also the ones in the Mizbeach, they go down the ramp, you put the blood on the west Yesod, this side, not the south. You both do on the south. Also the ones that are in Mizbeach, and also the ones that are inside the Beis Hamikdash. I understand why you say the west. Say the west, you say, the Torah told us clearly that what's ever done inside the Eichel, you do it on the west Yesod. You go out, the first thing that you meet is the west Yesod. This is the Mizbeach, right? One that stands right now. You go out the door, this is the Eichel. Assume this is the Eichel, or the door of the Eichel. You leave the door of the Eichel, what do you see? The Mizbeach, what do you see? The south side of the Mizbeach. So that's clear. You go down the ramp, where should you do it? So the previous Bandama says, the closest to there. This Bandama says, no. We found you do the west when you come out of the Heichel. So you do the west also when you go down the Mizbeach. I can hear that side. So do you compare it by the fact that it's the closest one? Or you compare it by the fact that it's the west one? That's the discussion. Says the Gemara, the Bandama that says both are done on the south side of the Yesod. My time, what will be the reason that Domi Primi, the ones that are doing in the Chatos, you do it on the south? This Bandama holds the Mizbeach is the north side of the Mikdash. Which is the same thing. The door of the Heichel is Badar. We're going to see that later. Where exactly the Mizbeach was. Now, to understand, this is the Mizbeach. The Mizbeach, the way we shaped it right now, was right in the middle of the Azara. And if this is the door of the Eichel, the door is right in front of the Mizbeach. But there is a Bandama that holds that the Mizbeach was in the south, and the door of the Eichel was here. And there is a Bandama that holds the Mizbeach was in the north, the door of the Eichel was here. So based on the Cheshbon, if you hold that the Mizbeach was in the north, the door of the Eichel was here, when you go out the door, what do you see in front of you? You see the south side of the Mizbeach. That's what you see. So that's why you do shiurim on the south side of the Mizbeach and not the west side of the Mizbeach. Because that's the one you see first. The Gemara says like this. So again, the Gemara says he holds Kol Mizbeach is in the north, or the door is in the south. So when he goes out, that's what he meets. So he's going to have a deal on base. Ta'im B'Shmuel B'Rab Shimon B'Yochai Oimrim Zeh Ta'im B'Rab Shmuel K'Rab Shimon B'Yochai, meaning in the B'Spedish of Yishmael, that's a Rashi notes. And B'Spedish of Yishmael, they said that Shimon Bar Yochai also said, Oimim Zevazeh Yisod Ma'arovi, meaning that he said like Rabbi Shmuel that goes to the west. Zevazeh Yisod Ma'arovi. Shimon Bar Yochai, they changed his mind, or at least they quoted it differently, that he says both in the west. Because the Talmidim of Rabbi Shmuel were many, and they pulled Gavra, who is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, to say like them. Taisus has the opposite Girsah. They say Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and William Zevazeh Soy Duroimi. They both go on the south, which that's what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said. Mashu Gavra Gavrei. So the Gavra is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was one. He pulled the Gavrei because Rabbi Shmuel is considered one because he's quoted as one. Shimon bar Yochai is always quoted him and his father, Shimon bar Yochai. So that's why it's called two. So they pulled the many for the one. Different ways to understand the square, but they just bring you the three opinions. Do you do the inside domim on the west and the mizbeach domim on the south, or both in the west or both in the south? So the Mishnah Oilo. Now we move to Oilo. Oilo Kodesh Kodashim. It's also called Kodashim. Shchita also Matzavon Shchita is in the north. Kibul Dom Klishad Matzavon, you receive the blood in the north. Vedom Aton Shtei Maton Shem Harba. The blood is put on the two Maton Shem Harba. Which two Maton Shem Harba? That's what we mentioned before. You go to two corners and you throw the blood on the corner and it spreads to the two walls. So if I do this corner, it spreads to these two walls. To this corner, it spreads to these two walls. That's how I cover the four walls. The tuna half shit, you have to remove the skin. Venituach, you have to cut the limbs. The colonation, everything goes up to the fire. Something Gemara. Oilo, my time at Tony Lekoch Kadashim. Shaladichti Bekoch Kadashim. And the time didn't say Koch Kadashim. So the Mishnah have to tell you, know it's Koch Kadashim. Even though we don't have it in the pasuk. How exactly do you do it? I said it the one way, which is the common way that everybody quotes throughout the Masechta. But the one says not so much. It's really two shittas. One shitta says you do it twice. I mean, he goes to the corner, and he does this side, and then this side. The other one says you go to this corner, and then he goes to the other corner, he does this side and then this side. So says the Gemara. Gives it twice. One thing looks like an L shape. Says the Gemara, nice. Ketanoi, he throws it once. Saviv. Saviv means it's at least two sides. Maybe it's going to be like a string, then you do all over the mizbeach, like a string. So he says, you throw it. That's the L shape that you're not spreading it, you're not pouring it. But you also make sure that you reach two walls. That's Vizor. That's the shita number one. It says Sovi by oil. Sovi by Chatos. They're talking about four different matanos. Afkan pisuk matanos. So here it's four matanos. So you have to do it in four. You do four different times. There you do four and you eat four corners and four horns. Afkan the same. It needs to be on top of the Yisoid. So let's see what's over here. The Gemara says like this. When we have the Chatos, I'm going to do four different matanos. We saw on the Mudav. Either you put it on the horn itself or below the horn, but you're doing it. Let's take one matam that says you do it on the corner. So you're doing it corner, 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 four times. He goes to four different spaces of the Mizbeach, he does four. Oila, we have to do four, according to this Madama. So one Madama says you do L shape. L shape here, L shape here. Another Madama says no, you do four. But I don't do four by going to the four corners. I stand in this corner, and I do it to this side, and to this side. I stand in this corner, do it to this side, and this side. Four Matanas, but it's standing in two places. Why two places and not more? It says the Gemara, we remind you what the Gemara is going to tell us. The Yesoid of the Mizbeach, as we mentioned earlier, the Yesoid of the Mizbeach goes in the north and goes on the west. It does not go on the south and on the east. Only one little tiny bit. So the way the Yesoid looks like is like it's an L shape with a little indentation at the end. For here, it goes like this, and like this. That's the Yesoid. The rest is open. The Gemara tells us whenever you do Zriko of Oilo, it needs to be on top of a Yesoid. So I go to the corners. Does this corner have a Yesoid beneath it? Yes. Because the Yesoid goes around, it goes to here. Does this corner have a Yesoid beneath it? Yes. Does this corner have a Yesoid beneath it? Yes. Does this corner have Yesoid beneath it? No. So I can't do it here. So therefore, I have to do it. I will do it in two opposite corners, and I'll cover 4. This corner I'll do here, do 2. Corners here, do 2. If I do here, so I'm doing it again anyway. I can't do it over here. So the Gemara says the reason why by oilo you can't go to the 4 corners because I can't use this corner because this corner does not have a yisur. Let's think more again inside. The same way by chatos you go to the 4 corners. It means 4 horns. I've got avakanos. Oilo needs to be on top of a yisoid. The Karen Mizrach is drawing means the southeast, which is this corner. Lo ayala l'soid, there was no yisoid. My time. What's the reason? It wasn't in the chelik of Binyamin. That corner is not the chelik of Binyamin. Meaning the yisoid is not chelik of Binyamin. The Mizbeach is one amo going to Chelek Shel Yehuda. Omar B'Levi Barcham Omar Barcham Barchino Ritzuay Soyoytze Mechelek Shel Yehuda V'Nichnesed B'Chelek Shel Binyamin. So where it goes like this. This is the Mizbeach, right? We're talking about this is the Mizbeach. Let's assume that this blue Gemara is the Yesod. The way the Mizbeach looks like, just to make things a little, is like this. Why is that so? Because Binyamin, Sheba Binyamin, according to this Mandamar, Torah discusses what about the Mandamar that says the Yerushalayim lo nischal kol Shvatim. Different discussion. But if we hold the Yerushalayim was divided to Shvatim, Binyamin had the chelik, the border of Binyamin ended right over here, right in the space, right in the end of the Mizbech, last end of the Mizbech, the top of the Mizbech, and Yehuda ended right over here. Now, for some reason, which the Gemara does not address, and maybe we will get to that in the Shomach Shom and the Daf, I didn't have to get to that, that for some reason, Yesod can be only B'chelik of Shevet Binyamin. But Shevet Yehuda cannot be a Yesod. So the Mizbech is here. The Mizbech was supposed to be, like according to the way we'll see later in the Gemara. But we're going now according to one sheet. But let's say the Yesod is let's say the Mizbech is in the middle. The Yesod is all around. Shevet Yehuda gets to here, gets this Amo. Shevet Binyamin comes till here. But there's a Ritzuah. There's another little pathway that goes around the Mizbech. Shevet Yehuda reaches till the Mizbech, and then he has another small pathway next to the Mizbech on this side. So there is the Shevet Yehuda surrounding the Mizbech like an L shape. So if you look at the Mizbech, most of the Mizbech is Shevet Binyamin. But the L-shaped area of the east and the south, where the Yesod is supposed to be, that's Shevet Yehuda. And that's why that Yesod, we'll see tomorrow's daf, either was not there, and the Mizbeach looked like this, there's no Yesod on these sides, or there was a Yesod, but it was not a usable Yesod. That Yesod, you cannot do blood on top of it. So the Gemara tells us, Yesod there belongs to Shevet Yehuda. Says the Gemara, again, the Mizbeach Oichel B'Chelek Shel Yehuda Amo. The Mizbeach is in the Chelek Yehuda. There's one Amo, the last Amo. This Amo is the Chelek Yehuda. And in addition, there's a pathway going B'Chelek Shel Yehuda, going around the Mizbeach. Yechezkel B'Chelek Shel Binyamin. Binyamin had something mitzvah aleh v'choyim lenotla. Binyamin had a nevuah, and he knew that there will be some part of the Mizbeach that will not be by him. So therefore, he was not happy. Shene'emar, it says in the pasuk, we have from Dalam Daf, Chayfim olav kol hayoyim. Chayfim means is like rubbing himself. He was rubbing himself. He was like upset. I don't have that part of the mezuzah of the mizbeach. Sorry. The fikach zocha binyamin atzadik v'nasau shpechis l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu. That's why Binyamin was zoche to be the host of Hakadosh Baruch Hu in the Beis Hamikdash. Shene'emar v'ink seif v'shochet. Right away, then before Shemay asked, what do you mean? He has an nevuah that he already has the Beis Hamikdash, and when he has the Mizbeach, but he doesn't have the full Mizbeach, he has only 95% of the Mizbeach, he's upset on the 5%. If he comes Shechina would be there anyway. He already knows he has the Beis Hamikdash. Right? His nevuah is, I already have the Beis Hamikdash, and I have the Mizbeach, but it's one swap is missing. So that's not what he was doing, he already had it. In fact, he was upset. So that's a question that needs to be addressed. Maybe we'll get to that tomorrow, I believe in that. Says the Gemara, Meisivei, Says the Gemara, you may see they. What brings the question? Oil so if Ketzalei Taneh says oil so is also done at top of his back. Hayam boy like is right. Show me mulorpo. He would cut the neck in front of the. When you cut the throat. I mean, you cut the back of the neck. Umavdil umimatsedom al carries back. He'd separate the two simanim, and he spritz the blood on the wall of his back. The Almighty loyal Said, but if, and that was talking about where? That was talking about in the area where you do oil soif. And that was a kerem mizrachis joimis. Sprit like he was squeezing the oif. Mizrachis joimis was in the southeast. It says the southeast. And if you said that there was no Yisoid, he's doing in the air. What is he doing in the air? According to Rashi, means that he's literally doing it in the air. He's doing it on the corner, but the corner doesn't have a Yisoid. You just said that every oil has to have, wherever you do it, has to have below it a Yisoid. Here, below, there's no Yisoid, it's air. Says you're right. But they made it din that the air of the Mizbeach is Binyamin. Yehuda has the floor around the Mizbeach. But the air above it, the airspace, is what? Is Binyamin. The Karka is Yehuda. The airspace is Binyamin. So that's why I could do this Rikl. How can I do this Rikl if I say I don't have a site? So Rashi has another thing over here. Rashi says, so they made a little bit of a bolito, some beam sticking out of the Mizbeach in the air, like in other words, in the middle of the Mizbeach. So when you do the Oil Sa'if, it was above a site. Not the Yesod, but the Yesod.
You have the secret going.
What?
We know the secret. It had been coming out.
Yeah?
Where did the secret go?
The Sikra?
The secret.
Oh, it was, that was below the Sikra. Yeah, below the Sikra. Now, the Rashi is hard to understand. It's one of the things that Tosis addressed here on the left side of very long Tosis. First of all, there's a question many first we ask, how can you add to the Mizbeach? You add another beat to his back. Second is that according to this, the more is not saying it. The more should have said. What just says the airspace is Yehuda, is a Binyamin, and the bottom is Yehuda. Say, and you would add another piece to the Mizbeach. You're missing that part. So Tosis says differently. Tosis says the question is not that you're doing it without a Yesod. The question is that if you're doing it without having the bottom, so when they do the miliko, it's done in the air. Because the miliko is done above, we're doing the miliko right above the Yesod. And here I'm doing it in the air. I don't have a floor below me. Because I don't have the Yesod below me. So one understands I need to do when I'm cutting the animal, it should be above the Mizbeach. Says the more, no, you don't need to. All I'm saying is the airspace is good enough. Airspace is Binyamin. I don't need to have a floor below me. So there's no beam coming out of Kurtasis. I'm talking about the fact was it in the air, and the Gemara says it's fine to be in the air. According to Rashi, the Gemara says it has to be on top of a Yesod. So well, okay, so the airspace is okay, and I'm going to add a Yesod. According to Tosis, Shad is that I can't. The airspace is not the right place to do it. So the airspace belongs to Binyamin, and therefore is the right place to do it. Be'ez Hashem will address this again, the Yehuda Binyamin thing, in tomorrow's daf. Leave that there.